Hello, and welcome to Trubend. Today I would like to take this machine as an example in order to present to you our safety concept for press brakes. You will learn what Trubend is doing for your working safety and what you as the operator must both know and take to heart. Let's start with the design and functionality of a press brake. An animation is provided for this purpose. Here, first of all, are the components which typically comprise a Trubend press brake. The machine frame with switch cabinet, the back gauge system, the machine bed with the dies or lower tools, the hydraulically or electrically driven ram with the punches or upper tools, the control panel in the operating station, the side safety doors, and an optical safety system such as bend guard. The various dies and punches are clamped in the tool holders. Before bending, the sheet is positioned against the back gauge system, in this case a 5-axis back gauge with CNC-controlled axes. The bending line is aligned precisely to the tools. Do not align the sheet again until the back gauge has moved into the next position. This is the control panel. Here you can load existing bending programs or create new ones. The operating station contains buttons and foot switches for machine operation. The ram stroke is started by pressing the ram down foot switch. You can drive the ram up with the emergency up foot switch in order to defuse a dangerous situation. More than one operator can work at the machine when larger workpieces are being processed. An additional foot switch must be connected for each operator for this purpose. Two-hand operating stations are also used in the US. The following takes place when bending. First, the workpiece is located against the stop fingers of the back gauge. The part is then bent between the die and the punch at the angle that was programmed earlier. The tilting movement of long or heavy sheets can be supported with the optional bending aid. Many Trubend press brakes can be extended with automation components. Here we see a press brake together with a bendmaster which grips, transports, and supports the sheet during the bending process. First, the bendmaster measures the position of the sheet with the aid of a camera, and then picks it up with pincer grippers, or as shown here, with vacuum grippers. After that, the bendmaster assumes a position in front of the programmed tool station, presses the sheet against the back gauge, and supports the tilt movement during the bending process. An optional re-gripping station and a gripper change console, also optional, enable the bendmaster to bend complex workpieces and finish them completely. Once all the bends have been made, the bendmaster sets the workpiece down, for example on a pallet. The entire working area is enclosed in a safety cabin with doors that are kept shut and monitored electrically. The safety cabin protects not only you as the operator, but also any co-workers in the vicinity against machine or workpiece movement. We now come to the safety concept of the press brakes manufactured by Trubend. As you can see from the CE marking, the machine fulfills the safety requirements of the European Union. In the US, it complies with ANSI and OSHA regulations. The machine could, however, be a source of danger if it is utilized improperly. A prerequisite for safe handling is that your machine be used and maintained in accordance with the instructions contained in the operator's manual. Also observe any other safety rules which may apply at your company for the operation of press brakes. For your personal safety, please wear protective shoes, close-fitting clothing, and protective gloves. Appropriate safety glasses like these must also be worn in the US. Warning signs are located at various points on your machine. You will find explanations concerning the warning signs in the operator's manual. Emergency stop impact buttons can be found on the control panel, the operating station, and at additional foot switches. On automated machines, additional e-stop buttons are located at the safety doors. E-stop primarily triggers the following machine functions. The power supply to the drives is interrupted. The axis motion stop, and movement by automation components, if installed, will also be stopped. To protect other personnel near the machine, the side safety doors and, if present, the roller gate at the rear must be closed. One safety door can be opened when bending very long sheets. In that case, however, the machine will work at reduced speed. Please exercise special care in such cases with respect to personnel in the machine vicinity. An e-stop will be triggered if both safety doors are open. An e-stop will also result if the roller gate is opened. An optical safety device is responsible for your safety during operation. On our machine, we use bend guard. Thanks to bend guard, it is possible to lower the ram at maximum speed without any impairment of your safety. If work is performed without this safety device, ram travel is permitted only at slow speeds. The bend guard functionality can be adapted to suit your bending tasks, as for example when changing over from normal to box bending. Bend guard uses laser beams to monitor the area beneath the punch. If the laser beams are interrupted, the downward travel of the ram will stop at once, thus signaling possible danger. Instead of bend guard, it is also possible in certain countries, for example, to use a light curtain, which monitors the area in front of the ram. The main switch is located at the rear of the machine. Next to it is the control system key switch, with which the machine can be locked against unauthorized use. Please turn the key switch and remove the key if you will be temporarily absent from the machine. The machine will then remain switched on, but the CNC axes cannot be moved. Punches with safety click can be inserted directly into the open punch holder. Longer punches are pushed into the tool holder from the side. After changing tools, always check whether bend guard is set to the correct punch height at both sides. If bend guard is set too low, the ram will not be able to travel downward except at reduced speed. The dies are inserted into the open die holder. After that, the clamps close and the tools are centered. And now we come to the actual bending operation itself. As a general rule, always hold the sheet in such a way that you, and especially your hands, are not located between the punch and the die, or between the sheet and the machine. This should also be observed if a part falls into the danger zone of the back gauge. Use the access from the rear in such cases. Now we will show you several typical situations and rules of behavior during the bending process. Always ensure that all persons are clear of the danger zone of the back gauge when bending. The stop fingers are adjusted manually for machines with 2 axes back gauges. Please note that the fingers must first be moved into a safe position in front of the ram for this purpose. It is not only the ram that moves during the bending process, but also the sheet between the punch and the die. The further the sheet projects forward, the greater the path speed of the sheet during the bending process. Reduce the ram speed accordingly at the control panel. Maintain sufficient distance from the sheet. Hold the sheet in such a way that your fingers cannot get trapped between the sheet and the machine. In box bending, the tilt movements of the various bending flanges will overlap. Observe safe hand posture during the bending process. Please note that depending on the tool that is being used and the workpiece geometry, the part will generally swing upwards, but in some cases downwards as well. Parts of the workpiece, for example with inside flanges, could swing downward. In the case of workpieces that have already been bent, the part could swing out further forward than initially expected. During the bending operation, the sheet is clamped and held between the die and the punch so that it cannot fall down. This means that you will only need to support the sheet and not have to bear its entire weight. Note that the pressure at the ram is released as soon as its downward travel is completed, after which you will again have to hold the entire weight of the sheet. Use the optional bending aid when working with large or heavy sheets. If your machine is equipped with a bending aid, do not activate this unit unless it is really necessary. Make sure that nothing has been placed on the bending aid and that it is not located directly beneath the control panel. Trump has done a lot to ensure your safety while working in a press brake. Nevertheless, the decisive factor for your safety is your own behavior. Do not allow your concentration to wander and always be in complete possession of your physical capabilities while working. Interrupt your work if you are distracted by a colleague. Press one of the E-stop buttons if a malfunction occurs at your machine. The axis motions will stop and the hydraulic system will be switched off. If a dangerous situation should arise, stop the ram either by taking your foot off the ram down foot switch or by pushing it down all the way. Either of these actions will cause the ram to stop immediately. After that, press the emergency up foot switch to drive the ram up. Keep in mind that upward ram travel is possible only when no emergency stop is active. This means that the E-stop buttons must be released and the side safety doors must be closed. When performing maintenance work, always switch the machine off at the main switch on the switch cabinet. Lock it with a padlock and store the key in a safe place. Please note, you are not permitted to open the switch cabinet. In most countries, these cabinets may only be opened by trained electricians or by the Trump service engineer. The switch cabinet key must be stored in a secure location. You will find additional information concerning the safe maintenance of your machine in your operator's manual. Your press brake with BendMaster is a fully automatic bending cell where all procedures are controlled externally from the control panel. BendMaster setup with vacuum grippers or pincer grippers can thus often be accomplished automatically from a gripper change console. If you should want to load the tools manually, be sure to always wear protective gloves. Switch off the pneumatic switch before loading a gripper. Then place the gripper on the bendmaster, hold it firmly on the outside, and then activate the clamping at the control panel. The gripper is now locked. After that, switch the compressed air on with the pneumatic switch. Attention, the gripper may move into its home position in this situation. Take care, therefore, to keep your hands and upper body away from the gripper. If you want to work at your press brake without a bendmaster, that is manually, then please proceed as follows. First, move the bendmaster into parking position. Then, switch over to manual operation. After that, lock the safety doors from the inside. Assure that all persons are clear of the machine's hazard area. Note that you can open the safety doors in the event of an emergency by pressing one of the e-stop buttons. Be sure to release the e-stop button again, as no emergency up can otherwise take place. In conclusion, I would like to stress the overwhelming importance of the safety chapter in your operator's manual, which provides information concerning the safety-relevant aspects of your machine. We strongly recommend that you take advantage of the training courses offered by Trubend. There you will receive comprehensive training in safe machine handling as part of the operating and maintenance courses. I wish you success with your press brake made by Trubend.